All right, people are joining in. Sorry for being a couple minutes late, but let me get set up here. There we go. I recognize a few names here. Welcome. Cool. I just talked to you, some of you folks on the the roadmap call. Now you get more of me. So all right, let's go ahead and get started here. And we are recording. We're good. Sharing my screen. All right, all is well. All right, welcome everyone. This is the daily Lunch and Learn. This is a call that we at Decisions host every Monday through Thursday for an hour at lunchtime from 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern time. And really, it's just a kind of an open forum. This is a time for you to come and ask any questions you want about decisions. This is if you're stuck on something or need help on how to get past a certain issue, if you can't find a certain step or how to use some in decisions, if you want to know a little bit about the company, or in my case, the roadmap, even though some of you have already heard the presentation, you're welcome to ask those questions here. So it's just a time with an expert from someone on our team to sit and answer any questions you may have. This is the end of this week, so you get me. I am Eric Wellmerink. I am part of the product team. If I haven't gotten a chance to meet you, I've been with Decisions for about 9 years now. I think 9 years next week. And I've done through that time a little bit of everything. I started writing code as a junior developer. I moved over to support professional services for a while. I did our security and IT ops compliance. Oh my God, I think the only thing I haven't done is sales. I led our documentation team for a while. The bulk of my time here was actually spent training. I did all of the training for our customers and partners and events that we hosted. So I traveled around the world and trained people on how to use Decisions for about 5 years, 4 or 5 years there. But for the past year specifically, I've been on the product team, and so I'm the product manager. So my primary responsibility is to ensure that Decisions is continuing to move forward in the areas that we want to move forward in. So I curate and manage our roadmap. I work really closely with engineers and designers on our team to design and build out new features. I keep a close eye on all of our competitors and make sure that we're kind of in line with kind of the industry standards. So a little bit of everything, but I got some history and tenure with the company as well, so I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. And there we go. And so just in case you missed it, this is just an update for some things going on in Decisions. End of life has been set for all versions, including version 6. So this is just some dates and information to look forward to. Now we have not set a official release for the next version, version 9 of Decisions. So we will update you once we do. But you can download and install version 8. We're up to version 8.9, I believe. And feel free to contact us or your customer success manager to ensure that you're continuing to get the latest and greatest releases. So the reason we want to push upgrades is not just that there's cool new things in there, but as the product manager, there's a lot of really great things we've added to the tool. But also it includes security fixes, some hot fixes and patches for things that potentially don't work the way you'd expect them to, some updates to modules and integrations that you rely on. They update their services, so we in turn have to update ours. So anyway, so here's just some information for you to keep informed on. So we'll be continuing to move forward with that. Already hand raised. Yeah, I think I can. Oh, I can't allow you to unmute. It looks like we're on. Yeah, if you wanted to go ahead, you can come off mute and ask your question.
So it is related to the end of life for version 6 and the upgrades for 8. So we're planning to do a direct upgrade from 6 to 8, skipping 7.
Okay.
And I know there's documentation out there. I believe the documentation refers to version 8.5. So for ease and comfort of all of the corporate hands that have to approve stuff, we were going to go with 8.5. Do you know of anything in particular that you think makes a strong case for picking a higher version?
Yes, and no, nothing specifically. I'd have to go look through the release notes. I would recommend a higher version because as we've had people go from 6 to 8.5, The fixes that we've identified were applied also to 8.6 and 8.7 and 8.8, so all the later versions. So I would say that going to the latest version is your safest bet. You will run into the least issues there, considering that we haven't done it. So in short, we haven't done any major overhauls like we did from kind of the earlier 8s when we were kind of updating how the new version. So I think you'd be much safer going to the latest and greatest. I will actually, I'll take note. I'll take note, but I need to grab my notepad. There it is. I'll take note here and ask the documentation team specifically to follow up with you on that. To see if I'm wrong there. But I am fairly confident that you'd be better off going to the latest 8, and that we should update our documentation.
Yeah. Because like I said, since it's a major upgrade, it seems safest to go with the one that was documented. But
yeah, no, totally. Yeah, I totally get their impression. And so I think that's just a documentation error on our part, but let me double check before I
okay, perfect, thank you.
Yeah, you bet. And thanks for listening to me ramble on my last call. You get a lot of me today, so cool. It's
informative. There's some things that I'm really looking forward to, the to-dos.
Awesome. Yeah, to-dos are going to be cool.
Yeah.
For some other folks on the call, there's a new feature coming called to-dos, which are essentially ultra light tasks. I don't know a better way to describe them, but the concept is that if you're somewhere in decisions, you're on a folder, you're in a task, you're in a flow editing a step, you can add a comment directly where you are called a to-do. And so if I'm on a step, say for example, and I can't figure it out, I can just add a note there that says, hey, this step is potentially broken, I couldn't figure it out. You can tag other users and say at this person, and they will get notified that a to-do is ready for them. And you can even add a link to where you are on the to-do itself. So for example, I'm editing a step I can't figure out. I say, hey, Josiah, at Josiah, I can't figure out the step. Can you look at it? Here's the step link. And when he logs into decisions, he'll see the to-do, he'll see his name tagged, he'll get notified, and he'll be able to click the link and go directly to where the to-do lives. In that case, it would go open the flow and edit the step for him. So there's just some really cool ways to provide a little bit of audit history, but also some inter-developer communication. So anyway, just for people who may not know what that is, super cool stuff. Oh, next product. Hey, that was me. This was the next. You did miss out. Sorry. This next slide here that I have. Sorry. So this was for everyone who attended Lunch and Learn the past 3 days. But I'll mention it every other Thursday from 11 to 12. So right before this call, you get me walking through the roadmap in great detail. So if you wanted to hear about to-dos or see them, some screenshot mock-ups of them, or go through some of those ideas, you can attend the product roadmap review. And again, it's every other Thursday. So please feel free to check that out. You can register for it on the registration page. I believe we had some issues with it this morning, yesterday, today, that we were resolving or getting resolved right away. But really, it's just a way to look into the next 18 months, ask questions of me and the product team and say, hey, or even provide feedback or information. So please check that out, inform your teams, let them know that we do that. And I'm happy to share that with any of you all. All right, cool. Let's see what's going on here. I don't have any other questions so far. Normally I dive into the roadmap, but it looks like everyone on the call has already attended the roadmap. So for just some information purposes, this is the breakdown of the roadmap. Jeremy has a question. Okay, cool. I don't have to ramble much longer. Jeremy, let's go ahead and get you off mute, and you can go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, it was something you talked about in the roadmap. On that one slide for streamlining, the side menu containers, those are the things that you're looking at deprecating and removing from the product.
Correct. Yeah.
My specific was the side menu container. I was curious of the reasoning why that was going to be going away.
Yeah, you bet.
I like that better than the tab container because it's got, by default, has thicker tabs. You can add icons to them. They just seem more customizable and a better option than just the regular tab container.
Yeah, so it's not going away, it's getting merged with tab container. So you're rebuilding the tab container to both be better modernized UI and to allow for side menu behavior.
Okay.
So it's, yeah, maybe this is a little misleading. So it's not technically going away. It's just getting
Yeah,
merged into
because they
another
both kind of
control.
do the same thing differently.
Mhm.
So that makes more
Yeah.
sense that you're just gonna make them one item instead of two. Okay,
Correct.
that's good
Yeah.
because I really like the side menu container.
Good. No, I'll make note of that too to make sure that's promoted. But yeah, well, that one won't be going away. You're not the only one.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm really
Anything
we're
else?
looking at, no, I was just gonna say we're moving from version 7 to 8, probably here sometime in February. So I'm really excited for the new
Awesome.
pieces. Like I like the subflow refactoring, be able to make a subflow out of steps in a flow. That'll be very useful. Because I do
So
find
cool.
myself a lot of times building a flow and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And
Yeah. I
discover,
wonder.
I'm repeating myself. I need to make that into a subflow. So that'll make that a
Right,
lot
right,
easier.
right. I wonder if I can demo it real quick. This is a, I know. Go away. This is a very experimental version of decisions. This is actually a very early prototype of Project View. Just FYI, so you come into here, you have your info page, which has your Project View. It doesn't work much, but I wonder if I have subflow refactoring on here and I can show you what it looks like. Let's just do some simple steps. Yeah, so if I had 3 steps here, I should be able to create subflow. And you give it a name. So we're going to call this the notification subflow and click create. And then it just replaces it in my parent flow. If I had inputs to those steps, it would have remapped them. But I've just taken those 3 steps, created a subflow. And if I come into here, it's just been created with all that data ready to go. So it's an exact copy of them. And then if I step out of this flow, I'll see now, if I refresh, because this is old, I have both of those here. So it's just a super designer friendly way to come in and do that. I'm excited about this too.
That looks really nice. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, it's fun. All right, cool. Hey, I got another question coming in. Is there a way to disable the close button on form titles within a flow? Aha. So let's take a look and make sure I understand your question correctly. And hello, Marcus. Good to see you, sir. So if I have a form, on form titles, yeah. So form, let's create a simple form really quick because I don't think I have one. Create simple form. Okay, let's create a normal form. Nope. All right, well, this is the problem you get with running very experimental builds, isn't it? Let's come out here and try to create a form out here. There we go. Okay, simple form. I actually like the button container better, the button panel rather. And let's just have a text field that says Eric's name. Sweet. So you are looking to, nope, show form. Now I can say pick existing. Will this work? Yeah, there we go. Okay, cancel. So my guess is that you want to remove this X, right?
That is correct.
There you go, sir. Hey,
Hey.
good to hear you. Good to hear your voice, man. I know we talked about it. We're gonna look at the settings really quick. I know some people have solved it with CSS, which is one way to approach this. I thought we had also.
Yeah, I thought it was in a previous version, but where there was like an option to turn those off. But I'm wondering if that potentially changed. But I think the last time I maybe even looked at it was version 6. So a lot of changes since then.
Yeah, let's. I thought on form setup you could say. Use. Is this it? No, that's the title. Oh, sorry. Close that. I thought there was a way to do this. I could have sworn. Not color, not sizing. Huh. Maybe it's in the form settings itself. This is a simple form too. I just realized maybe I'm looking at the wrong thing as well. All right. Oh, you're already. It's under setup and then sub dialog. Okay. Form setup. Hide title bar. There it is. If I do that, no, maybe I didn't save. Maybe because it's in the debugger, I have it. There we go.
Beautiful.
Look at Jeremy coming through for me. Thank you, sir. So yeah, I knew I could have sworn that setting was there somewhere. So yeah, so here, form setup, sizing, sub dialog, and then the checkbox hide title bar. Cool.
Awesome. Thanks, Eric.
Yeah, you bet, man. Oh, good. That's the one we added too. Sorry, I remember seeing the ticket. Also, if you're using this form as a sub dialog, you can hide the sub dialog one or show the sub dialog one anyway. So you could have you just have really complete control over which has the X and which doesn't. Cool. All right, more questions. Or I don't know what else I can show off. If none of you are on version 8, it sounds like that. I could show off the new truth table stuff because I think this is really cool too. What I mentioned this on the roadmap call, so I'll just talk about it briefly. But if you have a truth table now, let's just define some data. Let's give it a name and a date. What's the date time? There's just a couple things that make this a lot more valuable. Now, one thing I can't really demonstrate on my build is that if this is massive, so thousands of rows and hundreds of columns, the performance is drastically improved, significantly better. But something else that's cool is say the first column looks at name, and we say name contains. The second column is the date, and we'll do date is greater than. First cool enhancement is if I have row 1, and I look at this date, and the output's true, and I have row 2, and the date is some other date. Sure. The answer's false, and I have some other one, and the date's 2021, whatever. You'll notice that these are all Eric, right? So what you can do now is you can say merge below and merge below, or unmerge them all. So now all 3 of these rows are going to use Eric as the name that it's looking at contains. And if I need to change it, I change it one time here, and it changes it for all the rows that apply to it. So I think that's super handy. The ability to merge rows together up and down is really, really powerful. The other cool one here is the ability to change the verb. So these are all name contains. So it contains Jessica, contains Eric Walmart, contains Eric. But if I wanted to change the rule verb for just this row, you can click it and say override default verb. And here it's going to be equals. And so on this row only, it's not contains, it's name equals Eric. So I have very specific row-based evaluations. And then same thing for the output data. You can actually add different output. Where is it? Is it here?
Hey, Eric, it looks like Murray has a question for you.
Yeah.
Followed by
Oh,
Ravi.
sorry. Oh, gosh, there's 2 of them. Sorry, I totally skipped that. Yeah,
No,
go
you're
ahead.
good. You're good.
Yeah, go ahead and ask your question, Muriel.
Okay, so I see that there's a merge. That's great. But
Yes.
if you're in a situation like I know I'm going to be where rows 1, 2, and 5 all have the same thing, they're not together. Will I be able to sort them and then merge them together? Or is that kind of, you have to do some serious planning before you do your typing?
Yeah, you'd have to do some planning and some moving. So if I wanted to move this up and then merge it, I'd have to, I did click merge, undo. There we go, undo, there we go. I'd have to come here and where do you move it up? So it's over here. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so there is a,
move it up. There's
Okay.
a button over here to move up and down. It's there.
not as handy as sort, but it's there. Okay.
You'll notice I can't move it up here because there's a merge above it, so it doesn't know how to handle that, but I can move it up and then merge it here. Merge below. Something we are trying to do and looking at doing, so this is one that's not on the roadmap because we haven't confirmed, is drag and drop. So I could actually, like, if I had, a bunch more rows here, if I could just click and hold and drag this up, that would be cool, right?
Yeah.
So that's something we're looking at because then you could drag it and merge it that way. And there was something else I was going to mention here too. I can't think of it, but yeah. Oh, and then sorting. Yeah, actually, you mentioned sorting on the columns. That's something we're going to look at doing as well in the future. But again, those are much more difficult to do. So we're gonna prove they're possible first before we apply that to the roadmap.
Fair enough. It still looks
But
very handy. It's just that,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
I
you just have to
1, 2, and
move.
73 that needed to be merged together.
Yep. So you're gonna have to do a lot of moving up, and that's
Yeah.
that'll be fun. But yeah, we're looking to improve that experience in the future too.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. How do I change? Oh, is it allow actions? That's how I do the flows. I'm trying to remember how I change the output. Here, no. Failing. I saw another question come up. So while I'll stop playing for a second. Radley, if you wanted to go ahead and ask your question, sir.
Yeah, sorry, I just joined, didn't realize you were doing something on truth tables here. Can I ask something completely unrelated?
Totally. Yeah, I think I was just showing stuff off, so go for it.
Okay, sure. So I have a flow execution extension data type, and
Okay.
I want to add in 2 file reference data members
Okay.
lists. When I add in the second one and save it, it gives me a validation break, and it says override field name required for multiple list items of type file reference.
Okay.
What is an override field name?
Perfect. So let's do it here. You have a execution extension. Override field name is a property for your member. So if we have here, we're going to call this LNL, and we have something. We'll have file list 1. I'm going to see if I can create the same error for you.
Okay.
No, not fire reference. File reference. File. Where are you? There it is. So you have one list of file reference here, right?
Yep.
And then you have a completely separate one here, and you're going to call this file reference as well. And it's going to yell at you. Oh, it's also a list.
On save is when I get it.
Okay, let's save it.
There it is.
Cool. Yeah, so here's the problem. The way that we store this in the database is we create a brand new linking ID column that uses this structure name as the linking name. So because we do that automatically, if you just click one of the members and open up advanced, you'll see here that there's override. I think it's override database field name, and I can call this, some other name, I think is what I have to do here. Is that going to work? Yeah, there we go.
Oh, that's easy, man.
Because then it's going to append your custom name to the reference name. And so all that's done in the background, but we just have to do that so that the database is clear on the separation of those 2 lists.
Perfect. Awesome. That's
Right.
what I need. Thanks, Eric.
Yeah, you bet.
All right.
Great question. All right. Well, I didn't technically answer, I think it was Marcus's question, but it got answered, so I'm going to claim it. So I'm 2 for 2 today. All right. Anything else you guys want to see? I'm trying to think of what's also new in version 8 that's better. The charting is a lot better. I don't know if some of this isn't actually got reverted back to 7, so you may have seen some of these charts and lists. But the way that we graph and chart out stuff, I need a way to group this that's meaningful. There we go. All right, those are the charts that look ugly. But all of these charts here have gotten improvements as well. I actually think these might be in 7, so this may not be exciting either. But just the way that they render and kind of show each other stuff, the way that they slide in and out, like this has all gotten improved with the hover text. But this is all built in React is the difference. Technically, GraphQL is the library we reference. So we're going to be adding more charts here as the thing. These are just kind of a one-to-one reference to all the existing charts so that we don't break functionality. But we're going to be adding some better plot charts, some better, what else are we adding here? Anyway, just some better predictive charts, those sorts of things, something we traditionally haven't done in the past. I guess we have the dot chart, which is similar. But anyway, that's some of the things, that's the GraphQL stuff we're adding here. Yeah, I can't think of anything else super exciting off the top of my head. We've done a lot of little changes. That's cool. Let's see. You guys have already seen the roadmap. Already done all this stuff. Simple forms. I showed that off a little bit when I was building for Marcus. These are now improved. And again, if you're not familiar with simple forms, here's why I like them so much. Is say I have another text field here, and I want this to be salary, and it's currently going to be represented as a date. To switch it now, you just come over here to the control type and say, well, this is now a currency box. And without remapping it, without changing your active form flows or your data flows, without mapping it back from the parent flow into here, it's just done. And if there's any additional formatting, I can do that here, but I don't have to go remap all the data. In the traditional form designer, I'd have to drag the number box over, delete this one, put it in place, remap it, and it's more time. Now I can just come here and say, switch this to now be a number spinner, and now it's a number spinner. So that's one of the primary benefits of simple forms, along with the updated UI. Like I click in, the label slides up, and the buttons are modernized and that sort of thing. It's also just easier to design and build in. And like I said, the only control that currently doesn't exist in the Simple Flow Designer is a mixed type repeater. We do have data repeaters now, just not mixed type repeaters. So you can add a data repeater and all of these other things, but mixed type repeaters currently don't work in here. Cool. 12:30. All right, I rambled for 30 minutes. All right, well, I'll dawdle a couple more. Yeah, this is the early project view build. So just in short, we're working on project view. It's coming, and I'm excited for it. It'll look like this. All right then. Well, I won't make you guys stick around, listen to me ramble. You've done enough of that today. So any questions, please feel free to forward my way. But thanks for the people who joined and asked questions. And I guess I'll just wrap things up. Please let me know if you need anything. Otherwise, like I said before, take care. Hope you guys have a great weekend. I'm sure I'll talk to you guys in another one of these calls. So, all right, everyone. You take
Thanks,
care and have a
Eric.
good day.
Have a good one.